Clouds change everything. Nice white fluffy clouds against a blue sky can create an almost idyllic scene, and it certainly changes how I might consider composing images. I've got plenty of practice with blue sky days because we get a lot of them, and that tends to involve minimising the amount of sky. Today we've got some quite nice clouds in patches around the nice blue sky, and I'm thinking of trying to make a feature of them, composing to emphasise or even exaggerate the cloudy skies, the nice blue and white cloudy skies, although they may be black and white, who knows. I've just come out on one of my favourite walks out of the village towards Almoradí. It's the walk that I'm actually doing as one of my projects for this year, so you never know, this might add to the portfolio for the project. Either way, I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do, and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. I've looked at this old ruined building before, but most of the time that I've been here, it's been blue skies, and now there's some clouds up there, and that changes things a lot. Now what I am thinking of shooting is a fairly wide angle shot with the building across the bottom. There's a tree over there on the left hand side, trying to get a view through it because there's a mountain in the background which will hopefully show through the gap quite nicely, but getting a lot of the sky in with those clouds in. Black and white, I would imagine. The sun is pretty high up, but that means it's putting light in some quite nice places on the building, some quite strong contrasts on there. Let's see what we can do. Shame there's not a bit more cloud higher in the sky over this way, because this is by far the most kind of interesting view of this old building, particularly with a tree there, but almost nothing in the way of clouds higher up. I'm going to try one this time just looking across here. There's I'm excluding the tree, trying to shoot through the ruins. There's some trees in the background. There's quite a nice bank of cloud running across lower down, but not much higher up. There's some rubbish in the scene which I will almost certainly have to take out in Lightroom or Photoshop. I want to exclude the tree completely, try and get a bit higher to emphasize the background a bit more. Over here in the background there is a mountain. It's Sierra Orihuela, and we've got a potential here for something interesting. There's some pale kind of grasses in the foreground, then we got as a layer, if you like, and then beyond that we've got some darker grasses, we've got some bare soil, So we've got sort of kind of going back in layers. We've got some fruit trees, we've got some ordinary trees, we've got the mountain, we've got the clouds and the blue sky, all creating a set of layers going back. So a telephoto lens, probably only at about 55mm, doesn't need to be you know, massively zoomed in, but hopefully it will create something a little bit different. And again, probably black and white, I would think. So I'm going to bring in, there's a tree, quite a large tree over on the right hand side. I'm going to bring that in on the right with the mountain to the left. The road I'm on, which is kind of one of the little country roads, kind of sweeps around here, and then there's a bridge that goes over a major road over there, and quite nice clouds up above it, because we've got the road sweeps around to the bridge and over with the clouds and even some mountains in the background, and at the same time there's rows of young fruit trees, they'd either be oranges or lemons, I don't know which kind of also lead towards the bridge and the clouds. So I'm thinking a shot looking that way, and again it's going to be black and white because I think that's going to work best with those cloud patterns. I say that, I might be tempted with colour if I think it looks good when I get it on the computer, and wide angle, and I'm probably going to kind of step back this way a little bit because I want to try to avoid getting some of the bigger grasses and that are growing in from this side in the scene. And I may take several shots on this so that I can hopefully take out the traffic going past. In front of me is another old abandoned house. Now, unlike the other one that I've been past loads of times but never photographed, I have photographed this one before, but I did it on a blue sky day. There were no clouds, so I want to try and do it today with some clouds. Now, unfortunately, the angle I would really love to shoot it from is from down there, looking this way. Unfortunately, as you can see, this way there's virtually nothing in the way of clouds, so I don't think that's going to work. So I am, however, going to shoot it from this way and see what we can do with it. So wide angle shot, black and white, making a feature of those clouds. It's really difficult to see what I'm doing. Trying to avoid any distractions coming in, getting low enough down so that the mountains that are directly behind the building aren't poking up over the top, because that does look a bit distracting, including the road going in from the side. Important to make sure the highlights aren't blowing out at all. Need to get a bit further down the road bit here, I think, for it to work. you're vertical. Come up onto the bridge overlooking the major road, and we've got a nice view out there to the mountain, and there's some quite nice clouds around there. Now, I photographed this one before when I was doing my exercise on roads, but again there was hardly any clouds that day, whereas today there's quite a lot. And I'm thinking a wide angle shot off of the bridge with the road coming in bottom right, kind of sweeping around towards the two sets of mountains over there, with the clouds forming some nice patterns in the sky. That might work, so we'll give that a go. Now, I'm probably not going to end up removing all of the traffic in this shot. I don't think it's necessary, but I will take a number of shots so that I can get hopefully the most pleasing look to the traffic. For example, I don't want a big coach or something right in the foreground if I can avoid it. I fear I may have made a bit of a mistake today. Last time I wore these shoes was at the salt lake in Torrevieja, and they got soaking wet and salty, which is fine. I washed them, but for some reason now they seem to be rubbing my ankle, and it's getting a little bit sore. So I was going to carry on walking a bit further, but I'm thinking it might be an idea to start thinking about heading back in case this gets excessively painful. Okay, I'm almost home now. My foot is a little bit sore, and most of the clouds that were quite high in the sky seem to have disappeared, just leaving the lower level stuff. So I'm not really seeing a tremendous amount of potential for any more images. So I'm going to finish the walk home, get my foot sorted out, and see what I've managed to achieve, and hopefully I've got a few images that are worth sharing. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much. And until next week, bye.